so in my series of, I'm just pulling cards out of I've got about 7 or 8 huge boxes. I'm just pulling cards out that have got old products on them. Or with this one, not so much old, it was just, I thought, do a fun card for a change. I made this for Kylie's International Blog Hop, and I really thought it was cute. This particular one, I've just used some old DSP, and this is all early espresso, and I've done a dark chocolate card. I don't know if you can actually see that. And I cut these squares. The outer one is 1 1/4 by 3/4, and then the smaller one inside, I've actually embossed it with the gingham embossing folder, just to give it a bit of texture. And then cut all the little pieces to 1 1/8 by 5/8, and I think there's 8 pieces in there. You could go a bit lower, just depends on how low you want your paper to go. So that was the first one I made. So over the last week I've been experimenting with a different type of card, similar but just a little bit different, and I'm not going to show you the finished product. I'm going to make it and then I'll show you my samples. So that's what we're going to make today, so I'll put that aside. Alright, so the main products you're going to need is some aluminium foil, or I think in the US you say aluminum. Just some aluminium foil to represent the actual chocolate, the inside, which they don't do it anymore. You'll need some foam adhesive sheets or lots and lots of dimensionals. And that's all I can show you for now, because I want you to be surprised with what I actually came up with. Alright, for the purpose of this video, it's going to be very hard to see the two colours on top of each other. So I'm going to make a top deck. So I bought this as my sample. So this one's I don't know if you have this in the States, but this is chocolate on the bottom and vanilla Milky Way type thing on top. So for the purpose of the video, I'm going to make a top deck. And then I'm going to eat this later. Alright, so that's going to be today's card. Alright, so the first thing we need to start with, I might pull this one back in again, just as I'm going. First thing we need to do is to make the little chocolate squares. So what I have done now, I have recreated it, and I've actually made little squares, and that's the smallest square in the stylish shape dies. And I've just cut 9 of those in early espresso, or just if you don't have a small square die, just do 1-inch squares. So that is the first part that I have to start making the chocolate, and that will be the bottom layer of the chocolate. So first thing we need to do is grab a piece on the bottom where we're going to attach all the little bits of chocolate. So my trick is to attach them nice and evenly. Now this piece is a little bit bigger than I need, but we're going to trim it down. The trick to getting it to line up is find something where you can rest the cardstock up against, and that way you can put your first square in and it'll all be aligned. So I'm just going to whack some glue on there. Don't you love my terminology? I'm going to whack. I'm just going to put some glue on there for the first one. So taking one of our 1-inch squares, or the little square, I've got a little scoreboard here, and it'll just help you line up perfectly the first square. And then you can just go along, and I've got these all adjoining. These are all flush with each other. Alright, so the first one, I'm actually only doing 3 on this one. I've tried, because these are a bit wider than what was on the original card. Wait a minute. Oop, I've got too much glue there. Oh, baby wipe. So there's the first row, and I'm going to do 3 rows of 3. So I'm just going to put a bit of glue down there, and still leave it in here so that it's all nice and flush, and then just start putting the rest of the squares in. And you get a nice, perfectly aligned block of chocolate. So 9 of these. And like I said, most things I do, I cut a bigger piece and then trim it down. Alright, so there's our 9 bits of chocolate, the bottom layer of the top deck. I'm just going to wipe that bit of glue away. Whoop, baby wipe stuck to me. And there's the bottom layer done. So this piece here, I think it was 5. The length will be 5. All the instructions are scheduled to post at 11:30. So when I get up here, the 5 will already be there. I just did like 4 and a quarter by 5. So you've got those dimensions there. So then we need the trimmer. And I'm just going to trim down flush with that right edge. Okay? And there's our block of chocolate already beginning. Right, so there's the base. Alright, so it's 5 inches long and just a little bit wider than 3 little, so about 4 inches, and you just trim a little bit off. Okay, the next layer in my block of chocolate, because it's going to be a top deck, is going to be another 9, and I've used Berry Vanilla because it is my top deck chocolate. And these are, I have just embossed a piece of, look, I know I can't help it. I know this is a retired product, but I've got 2 subtle embossing folders and I will never ever get rid of them because I think it just pops on a card. So I've just cut a piece of Berry Vanilla, embossed it with the subtle 3D, and then I've just cut 9 squares, which are 7/8 of an inch. Now I'm going to do this very fast and not put as many dimensionals on the back, which I probably should have prepared this earlier. I'm just going to pop one on each little square of Berry Vanilla, if I can stop them sticking, and they're just going to get mounted directly in the centre. Oh, sorry, this will take a while because I didn't have it ready. Alright, so you're going to mount them to give it a bit of dimension. I might do it that way. Doesn't matter which way you do it, I'll do it that way. Alright, so I'm doing 3 rows of 3. I'm getting this. Okey-doke. Another one. Can't quite tell if I'm putting them on straight, so because my head's not directly. Oh, that one didn't work. Right, you'd probably put a little bit more dimensional, but it works for just putting one dead in the centre. Sorry, I've got glue on my fingers, so everything's sticking to it. Alright. And 2 more, making sure all my the pattern on the subtle is all going in the same direction, otherwise it's going to look weird. Alright, so it's all coming together, and there we have it. So that's the first layer, and it gives you a bit of a 3D by using dimensionals to pop that top part of the chocolate up. The next thing I did for this one is I die cut some little hearts. These little heart die cuts actually came out of, and I have no idea where I put it. Oh, they came out of the cup of tea. These were the little, there's 2 little hearts, which I can't find, there should be a heart there somewhere. No, there's not. The 2 little hearts, which was easy because I could die cut 2 at a time. And all I'm going to do is just attach one little heart to the centre of each little chocolate bit. Now I wouldn't do this normally, but this is quicker in a video to just pop the glue straight on there and then put all your little pieces on. Alright, so die cut one of these, and that was the perfect size. I tried other hearts, but they were either too small or too big, and these ones were perfect. Well, I can't quite see if I'm getting them even. Just adding these just made it pop a little bit more. Whoops, glue on my finger again. And the last one. Alright, so there's our chocolate bits done. Alright, next part we need to do, we want to wrap the foil and the DSP around it to give it a little bit of height to make it look like a real block of chocolate. So that's where we go to the foam adhesive strips. These foam adhesive strips, or you could put loads and loads of dimensionals on there. So I just roughly calculated that I wanted 3 inch by about 1 1/8. And surprisingly, you can trim this. So 3 inch, you just got to do both sides. 3 inch by, what did I say? 3 inch by 1 5/8. So 1 5/8. 1 5/8. Alright. And there's our little panel, so that when we wrap the foil around, it'll sit nice and high. So take one of the backing sheets off. And pop that down there. So you could either do that or put lots and lots of dimensionals on there. This is a little bit thicker than dimensionals, I think. And there we have it. So next step is to do our foil. There's no, excuse me, my cat's trying to get in. Sorry. Come on, quick girl. Quick, quick, quick. Quick, quick, outside, quick. Come on, I'm recording. Quick, go, 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 go. Apologies for that. She's a very timid girl. I had to let her straight in. Yeah, so next thing, there's no measuring with the alfoil. I just grabbed cut off a piece, made sure I had a straight edge, and then you sort of work out, you want to start trimming it, tearing it or rolling it about halfway. But what we want to do is we want to fold it under so that it does look like the old block of chocolate where it used to have the alfoil and then the paper on top. So it's just a little, I might go over there. So, very hard to cut alfoil. Alright, so say about there. I'd rather do more and have more to spare than to do less. Alright, so there's our little piece. Alright, so what you need to do is you need to have a bit on the bottom and a bit each side because we're going to wrap it around. So I'm going to take that top layer of the paper off and attach it. Alright, so we've got enough there to roll over or tear or whatever we want to do with it. So we need to attach that. Now I'm not attaching it all the way up there. I'm only going to put tape where the foam strip is. So a little bit down the bottom. Because we're going to be rolling that, so we don't want that attached. And then just so that it's a little bit neater, I just snipped a little bit off the corners. Just so that when we tuck it under, it's not too bulky. So roll the first one up. And then the bottom. Alright, so that's still free that we can work with it. And there we go. See how it's giving you some nice dimension now. Next step is a scrap of DSP. I've still got loads and loads of this old 6x6 subtles or brights, whatever this one is. And once again, there's no exact measurements. So probably, once again, leaving enough room to attach at the back. So I'm just going to trim it across there. I'll use that one, so I've got a straight edge down the bottom. And trim it. And we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to attach the paper, but only up to this point here. So we need to actually put the tape on the front. So I'm just going to put my tape runner across there. And once again, turn it over. And attach it, because we still want that top bit loose until we decide what we're going to do with it. Oops, probably a little bit low. Fold it over, tape at the corners, oh goodness, I've done it wrong. Oh gosh, I'm silly, I've done it wrong. Apologies, I oofed it. Whoops, alright, we've got another piece. We don't want it to go right around, we only want it to go to the bottom so the silver foil is showing. Apologies, I'm glad I remembered that. So we want it to sit about there so the silver foil is showing out the bottom. So I'm just going to tear along that. Just give it a bit of a rough tear. And now we'll stick it. But we still need to attach that to the back. And put a little bit of tape runner there. We're going to attach this to the card, so it'll be fine. So roll that over. Roll that over. So the back doesn't look terribly neat, but we won't see that. So now we can adjust the alfoil. We can move it. We can tear it a bit. Or you can just roll it down however you want it. Scrunch it up. And done. Alright, just make sure it's a little bit all sorted on the back. And there is a chocolate bar all ready to mount on our card. So next thing, I haven't decided what colour card base. So I've got a Bermuda Bay, that's Coastal Cabana. I've got a Coastal Cabana sheet that I'm going to layer to put on the back. And I couldn't decide if I wanted to put that on the Bermuda Bay or I might put it on that one. I might put it on the Very Vanilla. So next step, we'll put the layer down. And that's just 5.5 by 4 and 5.25 by 4, and once again subtle embossing folder. I hope they bring it back one day. So our card's starting to come together. So now we need to add something to it. So for this one, I have actually die cut some little flowers. So I've got some purple ones, got some Highland Heather. I'm not sure which colour. Maybe that colour, or maybe just stick to Bermuda Bay. Where's my other Bermuda Bay? Maybe Bermuda Bay. We'll leave it at that colour. So first thing, we've got the Very Vanilla twine in the pack that's got, I think, 4 or 5 colours. So I'm just going to wrap it around twice. And of course my hands are freezing cold again, but I'm just going to tie that up. I'll just do a double knot. Whoops, no I won't. There we go. There we go, double knot. And then I've made a little tag, also from the cup of tea. And I've just made a little one that says sweet. I'm just going to thread that through. Sorry, didn't mean to put my head there, but... oh dear. Oh, I'm just going to tie that on. Oh yes, it's fiddly. There we go. Little bow, although mine looks like it's going to be a big bow. Maybe big. and then work out where I'm going to put a couple of little flowers just there, and just move that around a bit. And drop my little flowers on there. One just there. I'll put one on the other side maybe. Alright. Whoop. Stay down. Okie doke. And all we need now is a little pearl in the middle. And we're almost done. These pearls are the beautiful iridescent pearls. I love them. They're so delicate and pretty. Alright, and if you wanted to keep that that sentiment there, I'm just going to pop a dimensional under it to hold it in place. And voila, the card is now done, except for attaching it. Okay, my other thing was I changed it a bit and actually mounted it to give it more dimension. So I'm just going to pop just a couple on here. You'd put more on there, but just to make this a little bit quicker, I'm just going to put a couple on there. It's funny how many of these I find on the floor after I do these Facebook Lives, because I just throw them everywhere. And that's it. The card is done. How pretty is that? Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? And you've got some height there, so it's got the thickness of a block of chocolate. So I went from that to that. And I really like what I've done there. So I made it, the first one I made in pink, and I didn't emboss and I didn't add any hearts, but that's still pretty. And that was using polished pink, I think. Yeah, polished pink. And just adding, a little heart there. That's where I started when I did the heart for that. I got, whoa, I want to put more hearts on it. So that was the first one. No, sorry, that was the second one I made. First one I made was that one, and I didn't like it. I wasn't happy with it, but I was trying to use the Nothing's Better Than set. Might be nice for a masculine card, not too tizzy and florally. So that was the first one I made. Yeah, it was alright, not happy. That was the second one that I made, so I zhuzhed it up a bit and made it a little bit more pretty and feminine. Then I made a purple one, which is the same as my green one today. And there are all the cards, and I started with that. And that's today's card. You could do whatever you like. You can add little flowers up there instead of the little hearts. And I'll give you a close-up. And you see that? Beautiful. And I hope that's still recording. We still recording? Yep, good, okay. Just my computer stopped playing. Alright, so there's all that you need. It's nice and fun, and you can use your old DSP just to change it up a bit, make different colours. Little bit of die cutting there to do the 9 squares, or you can just, like I said, just trim 1-inch squares. But look at the difference between zhuzhing it up just by embossing and adding the little hearts. It just looks so much more professional and finished. Even though I really like that, I like that better. So what do you think? Which is your favourite? So you can make hundreds of these. And I just think it's a really cute and different type of card that you wouldn't get anywhere else, and somebody wouldn't receive, because you can't buy something like this. So these are really good. So there's my top deck. As you can see, I matched it up. Actually, I probably won't eat that. Hubby will probably eat that. And that's all we have today. So at 11:30 I scheduled the post to go live, which has got the instruction sheet. It was more for when I made this one, I think. I can't remember. I did it last night. But you get the general idea, and you've got this video now, so you can remake your own. I would love to see what you end up making. Send me a picture or something and I will post it. But these were really, really fun to make. Excuse me. And you will want chocolate. There's something about making these where you just think, oh God, I really want to eat chocolate now. Oh look, and Julie's just written the same thing. Jules Block's written the same thing. She wants chocolate. I do apologise to everybody if I've made you all run out and go buy chocolate now. Okay. One last look, one last close-up. You can see that. I don't know if you can see it very clearly. Alright, use any dyes that you like for the flowers. That one there, I think the flowers came out of, they were flowers out of the Pretty Pillbox dyes. They were those little flowers in there. I used them a lot. Alright, that's it for me today. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll read through all the comments when I get back to my computer. And that's it for me today. I'm not sure what I'll do next week. I'll stick my hand in my box. Oh, that sounded terrible. I'll stick my hand in my card box and pull out something. I'm not sure. Whatever I pull out, we'll make next week. Alright, talk to you soon. Bye.